Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use a custom URL scheme inside of your Ionic Framework Apache Cordova application. So when I say custom URL scheme, I mean it'll be a method for you to launch your application through some form of hyperlink. So for example, when you use a Android phone, if you visit the market link, it will open up the Google Play app. Same for if you use the Twitter:// it'll open up Twitter. So I'm going to show you how to do this with your own custom scheme inside of your application. So let's go ahead and start by creating a new Ionic Framework application. I'm creating this application on my desktop. So navigate to your project. We're going to go ahead and add the Android platform. All right. So the next thing we want to do is, well, you could actually also add your iOS platform as well. So as long as you're on a Mac. All right. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to actually install the plugin that allows us to create this custom URL scheme. So the plugin that we're going to be using is called LaunchMyApp, and it was created by Eddie Verbruggen. He also makes a lot of other useful Cordova plugins. So to save me some trouble of typing it in, I'm going to copy and paste most of it. So an important thing to note is there is extra that you need to add when adding the plugin. The variable for URL scheme, this is what's going to be used to open up your application. So let's go ahead and paste it in. I'm going to actually, instead of my cool app, I'm going to call it Ionic app. You can call it whatever you want though. Alright. So with that added, let's go ahead and install it onto our device or simulator. In my case, it's going to be an Android simulator. Now, you can also do it for the Mac too. I'm on a Mac, however, I'm going to only demonstrate for Android. It'll work the same. But if you're not using a Mac, you cannot build for Mac. Or for iOS, I mean, sorry. Alright, with it compiled, let's go ahead and install it to our simulator. Alright, so it should be installed now, and it is. Let's open it. So it looks like just a generic application that we've got here. So this is where it gets interesting. This is the goal of our project now. So since I didn't want to make a website that contained this custom link, I just used a hyperlink generator that I found online. You can do it however you want. I suggest probably your own website for some good deep linking. So I'm going to go ahead and construct this link. Oops. Let's see if we can find it again. All right, and then I'm gonna click on the hyperlink that we just created. And as you can see, it instead of opening up a web page, it actually opened up our application from the web browser. And that's exactly what we wanted it to do. But we're not done there. We actually can add to this and make it a whole lot more useful. So let's go ahead and open up our project. I'm going to open it with Atom. That's the editor that I've been using lately. So go to your app.js file. we're going to add a custom piece of code that'll get triggered when the URL schema is hit. So things are a little different on this. We actually need to make this globally. We cannot put it inside of our Angular module. So above the Angular module, we're going to add the following. All right, here. So when the URL schema is hit, the code actually tells it to look to see if this particular function exists. We can't put it inside of our platform ready because the URL schema is going to try to trigger this URL before it even makes it to this method. So it'll try to reach it before AngularJS is actually even run. So adding it in here will cause it to not do anything. That's why we have to do it globally, because we want it to actually load before the plugin loads, rather than the other way around. So with our new custom code that we added here, let's go ahead and back to our terminal and let's build it again. Should build quicker the second time around. Alright, with it built, let's go ahead and reinstall it. And then when we click it, you can see that it shows a pop-up with what our URL is. And so if you wanted to get more technical, you can add variables and query parameters, and then you can parse those out and do various tasks based on what's passed in to the URL. You can also do a nice little hack in order to integrate AngularJS with this function. So what I'd actually do is I'd actually do the following. So with that said, what this line does is it'll add a line. It'll add a parameter to your local storage with the URL. And then what can happen is inside of your platform ready, you can actually see if that exists. So you can do something like if type of window dot local storage dot get item external load, something like this. And then you can have it do a various tasks with AngularJS. Like maybe you've got the UI rather being used and you want to change the state. Maybe you want to change the location to something else. You can do whatever you want. And because this will always get fired before this. So reading it in here, you could use full AngularJS, and then after you do that, you would want to actually clear it out. You would actually want to unset the external load variable from your local storage. So that way, if you load your application and it wasn't technically an external load, you don't want this to fire. So just like that, you can introduce deep linking into your Ionic Framework project. So that way, the web and your mobile app becomes more transparent. It also might enhance your ASO and SEO, your App Store optimization, and your search engine optimization. There's various cool things that you could do with it.